and welcome to Box Box Box. I am bum 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 Shannon Hayes.
And I am bum ba bum 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 Merel Huseman.
This is the first episode that we are doing on a race weekend, the first race of 2021. Woo-hoo! So excited. This weekend was amazing, and this race was amazing. I'm very excited to talk about it because
wild.
So much happened. I think honestly, I think the way we're gonna break it down is by team, I guess, because there's something that was surprising with I think every team on the grid. Something to talk about. So let's start it out. I would argue, what was it? Turn 3? Let's start with Haas. Turn 3 of the race.
Oh my god.
Mazepin.
Haas first.
Yeah, let's start with Haas. So first of all, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. We should go chronologically by team. So why don't we start with Haas at quali, we'll say, because practice, not too surprising. Nothing really crazy happened at practice. Quali.
No, I mean, we just saw in practices, I guess we kind of started to get a taste for how much Mazepin was going to start spinning. And
also how much Mercedes had been sandbagging at testing.
Yep.
We saw that at practice.
But for the rest, practice was like not that big.
Yeah, it was pretty tame. Lots of spins, and then quali, Mazepin spins out, ruins like half of the grid's laps. Like,
oh my god,
poor Seb
Vettel,
got fucked
poor
over.
Vettel. Oh.
He got so fucked over. He was already starting in 18th because he couldn't do a lap because Mazepin was spinning. Mazepin was spinning again. He drove through a yellow flag and they pushed him back 5 places. So Seb started the race in last place because of Mazepin's fucking around. And then, at the start of the race, turn 3, he spins out and gets a DNF. So you know what? I'm hoping the rest of the season, this is a theme, DNFs for Mazepin the whole season.
I saw so many, like, during the race, like, in all the meme pages were on it. Yep. Like, so many memes about him. And then everybody's seen the boat memes.
Oh, yeah, of course. The Suez Canal.
Yeah, the Suez Canal. Yeah. All those memes. Amazing. Anyway, and basically I saw one that, like, for Haas team is just like that boat, and then there's like a little crane, and that's Mick Schumacher, like keeping the fucking team together.
Incredible. Yeah. Oh my god. Incredible.
I feel so bad for Mick. He really joined the wrong team. Like, I know he's trying to get into F1, but even so, Haas is just a shit show. And like, I mean, this race really showed it. He was so far behind, and he couldn't even catch. Like, Gasly with a fucking all his problems managed to catch.
Gasly with half of a front wing attached was still beating Mick. Dude, okay, well, let's talk about Mick a little bit too. Mick, not a notable race because he was barely in it. He was at the back of the pack. No competition from anyone.
I mean, he did have that. He did have a little spin-off, though, didn't he? Yeah, and then he had a spin-off, and then, but he was already, like, kind of in last, so it didn't really, like, I forget who he even collided with. He hit someone, or maybe it was just brake failure or something, Well, he spun off, but then he managed to get back on. It was, like, in the beginning of the race.
Got you. Yeah. Wow, a lot happened. So hopefully, our bingo card of constant DNFs for Mazepin will continue at least. Let's hope.
Wait, also, I have to point out something that one of the commentators said, because it was under the yellow flag caused by Mazepin, and they were just like, they were just like, why is he, like, here?
Yeah, basically. I mean, he's so not a qualified driver. He barely has a license. Like,
And then one of the quotes that I had to write down, because they said, there's no point in crashing the car if you're in the slowest car.
That's so iconic. Oh my god. I mean, yeah, T.
Like, he has no right to crash. Yeah, it's true though. How? It was all his fault. Also, what the reason he crashed?
How do you crash when you're not even going that fast? He's basically driving a regular road sedan at this point, going 50 miles an hour on his way to work or some shit. There's no reason to crash that.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Yeah. And then I guess let's talk about AlphaTauri. Yuki got points.
Dude. Yeah.
Yuki's a rocket ship. He's awesome.
So good. I know. Like, the only reason he didn't end up, like, higher up was because of that. Like, he didn't have a great start, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
I think he could have done better, but, yeah. And, I mean, Yuki did great. Gasly, oh my god. Yeah. That was so sad. Also, how did that even happen? I don't think I actually even understood how it happened.
I didn't either. I just saw,
because he didn't collide.
No, he just
yeah.
I don't even know what happened.
Lost his front wing.
Yeah, it just was there one minute and gone the next. But I was so excited because, especially with practice and quali, AlphaTauri looked incredible this season.
No, their car is fast.
Yeah,
it's fast.
It's wild, and they have two incredible drivers. Pierre is so confident now. Yuki is a rocket ship. His debut race and he has points. 2 points. Yeah. That's more than George Russell has.
Wild. That's so sad.
Also, it's just sorry to touch on George Russell. His qualifying was also incredible. 15. He made it to Q2.
Yeah.
Wild.
So good. Good for him. I mean, I think the Williams car, same as Haas, hasn't changed a lot since last season. The other cars have improved more than they have, if there's been any improvement on their part. And, you can really tell.
Yeah. It's the same car.
Everyone's inching up to the midfield, and they're, back at the
Haas has taken a step back. At least they have George and Williams, who's making the most of that car every single race. Yeah. Also speaking of, I guess, backfield, but now midfield, Alfa Romeo was going crazy. How did they become a midfield contender all of a sudden? Where did Alfa Romeo come from with this? Giovinazzi had a crazy race. I was so impressed.
Yeah. They did really well. In the end, I think
they didn't do too well. But they were.
Did any of them score points? Who came in 10th in the end? I forgot now.
I think it was Giovinazzi. Hold on, let me double check.
I think it might have been one of the Alfa Romeos.
No, it was Stroll. It was Stroll in 10th. And then
yeah. Okay.
Kimi was 11th and Giovinazzi was 12th.
Yeah, okay. So that's crazy though. That's midfield, bang in the midfield.
Yeah, exactly.
Whereas last year they were in contention for points basically the whole race too.
When did they become a midfield car? And then they kind of swapped with Alpine, I guess, because Alpine was not doing great.
Yeah. Alpine was not good.
We got a DNF for Alonso.
Well, they didn't even cover that though. I know that he had brake failures, but it just kind of suddenly happened, and then I
think it was a pretty chill event. I think Alonso was the brakes aren't working, and they were like, all right, well, bring it in then. And he was like, okay. And then they just very calmly brought the car into the garage. But there wasn't really an incident with it, so I guess it just wasn't too big of news. But it was really funny because he started 9th, and he was behind Lando and Carlos, and I think he was talking to his engineer about it or something, right after qualifying, and he was like, who's in front of me? And he was like, you've got Norris and Sainz in front of you. And he was like, oh, okay, we'll pass them at the start then. This incredibly cocky line right off the start. But you know what? He did go for it at the start of the race. And I think he did pass Lando initially. He did try it. He did okay.
Ocon also had a bad race.
Yeah. Well, he had the incident with Vettel towards the end, didn't he?
True.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Vettel, I don't know if you heard
I heard the commentary. It was all Seb's fault.
Yeah, Vettel was like trying to say like, why would he change racing lines? He was going into a turn, Vettel, and there's a turn there. Like, what are you talking about?
My man.
Yeah, like what? Vettel was super close behind him and had a lockup. Like, of course he's gonna hit him. That's on you, Vettel. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, he couldn't even brake. Like, it's his fault.
I think he was already salty because he was having.
Yeah,
Vettel was having a rough race.
He had a bad race. He had a bad start. Like, all bad. Just not his race today.
Yeah,
and that's fine. But it's been not his race for the last year. So this was a terrible start.
Yeah.
Like, this is a start as if he were racing in Ferrari last year, and I think he was hoping that it would be like a fresh start. You know, doing well.
I know. You would hope. Speaking of Ferrari, we do have to talk about their qualifying as well. I know they pulled out the softs just to, get a little bit higher in quali, and it didn't
flex
pay
on
off.
Everyone.
But like the fact that they even made it to Q3 was like impressive. The thing I screamed in Q2 when both Carlos and Charles like got first and second in Q2. I was like losing my fucking mind because I was not expecting that. I was expecting full midfield car from Ferrari this season, so.
Yeah, and even during the race today, they were very strong. Like, you could just see. I mean, in the end, I don't think. Well, Carlos had a less strong race than Charles, I guess, but like.
Charles was 6th, Carlos was 8th.
But Leclerc was in 3rd at like some point.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like in the beginning, Leclerc had a really good race, and then, I mean, shit happened, and he kind of lost it, but like, yeah.
It was a pretty impressive race, especially from like what we saw from Ferrari last year. Maybe it's just, they've been talking a lot about the one new regulation about the triangular bit of floor at the back of the car reducing downforce, and how that's probably changed a bit. Maybe the cars are a little more uneven, like the Ferrari now, and Ferrari's used to it, so they're like, "Oh, we know how to use a car that doesn't work."
They're like, "It's time for us to show you how to do it."
Yeah. For some reason, Haas has gotten even worse, though, despite constantly working with a broken car.
Well, they didn't change. They like aren't really developing their cars, so maybe it's because they didn't really
they didn't try.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Anyway, good race from Ferrari.
We should also talk about I guess let's move up to the most exciting bit, which is Red Bull's performance the entire time. I think we could legit see a Max Verstappen champion this year, just based on this race. That was
I think so
incredible.
Too.
My glutes were tight the entire last 6 laps of the race. I was clenched. I was losing my shit. We had this super close battle for first between Max Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton, and he took it for a minute, but because they randomly started enforcing track limits at turn 4 halfway through the race, they decided we're gonna do that.
When also Lewis had been taking going out of limits the entire race before, and Bottas, and I don't know if you heard Max's team radio, but like when he heard that they were doing that, he was like, well, what's up, because his engineer or whoever was like, well, they're doing it, so you go ahead and do it too. And then Max was like, well, what's the point? What's the point if it's supposed to be illegal? Like, they're gonna start watching, and then the moment he does it, they're gonna call it out, and they did.
Yeah, it's absurd, because there's this one turn where everyone was going wide to get some extra speed, and the Mercedes had been abusing it the entire race, and then the one time Max uses it to pass for his own advantage, they're like, oh, track limits, no, sorry. Let Lewis pass you again.
It's just not. I think this is something that the FIA needs to work on, because you can't. I think that's one of those cases where it's so ambiguous that, like, that's just, it kind of feels like it depends on which person from the FIA is watching that corner at that time. Like, and then they're like, well, you know, see, now you're using it to gain. But, like, pass, I feel like you're always in an in an F1 car, you're always using whatever space or whatever speed you have, you're always using it to gain positions on someone else. So, like, I don't think that counts. Like, that's just not.
It was so absurd. And the fact that, like, you know, Verstappen was P1 at the end of the race, and then, like, what? Like,
he fucking had to let his P1 go. That was so sad.
They were like, no, let Lewis pass.
Just slowed
let Lewis
down.
Pass. You went over track limits. You've got to be shitting me, dude. Come on.
Yeah.
We should also talk about Perez doing his incredible last front of the pack performance that he
thing again. Yeah. Well, so what was his problem? Because I don't think for the listeners, his car like stopped during the opening lap, so they were like warm up. But yeah, so they do the formation lap to like heat up their tires and to, you know, check that everything is okay and their equipment is okay. And then I think like 2 or 3 corners before the start, Perez like went to the side and his car completely stopped, and you could see that his this screen on his steering wheel also was turned off. But he managed to get the car, I don't know what the problem was, but he managed to get the car started, but it also meant that he had to start his race from the pits, which basically means you start last.
Yeah, pretty much.
Because, like, you have to wait when you're starting in the pits, you have to wait for everyone to have started, and then you basically just, like, you know, join
and
back in the pack.
And they have a speed limit in the pits, too, so
yeah,
to start
in the pits,
you're like, well, not great.
So far behind.
Yeah, it's...
Anyway, he came in P5 in the end. P5.
I know. Yeah, it's wild. Yeah. That's his...
insane.
He really does well at that Bahrain track. And same with Max, I think. They're just...
Well, he does well going from P20 to P like points.
Yeah. You know, that's really the goal, is every quali now, if they have Perez at Bahrain, they have to have him start at the back, because that's how he does. That's where he performs at Bahrain. Works his way up to the front. God. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we're going to see some great like rivalry between the Red Bulls and the Mercedes. I think like this pairing of Perez and Max, once Perez actually is able to drive up front, is going to be amazing.
Yeah. We should also talk about Mercedes, because great race from Lewis and them, obviously. Bottas got seriously fucked over by the pit crew yet again at Bahrain. I don't know why Mercedes hates him.
10.8 pit stop.
Yeah.
What the heck happened?
Yeah, it was ridiculous. 10.8 seconds on a pit stop should not be happening. That's insane. What, they just couldn't get the like tire off the front right?
Yeah.
How does that happen? Like, come on. He did get fastest lap at least, so that was satisfying.
Yeah. But also, though, before that, he was pitting because he was in contention for first. Like, he was pitting to be able to go and catch Max or maybe Hamilton. So, like, that was the reason that they pitted him early, was because, like, if he pitted, he would probably be able to catch them.
Yeah.
So, like...
Yeah. There was also... Yeah, that was when I think Hamilton was running on older tires, so he was kind of falling back at that moment. But Bottas was looking really good. And I remember the radio from Toto was like, hunt him down to Bottas. He told him to hunt him down.
Hunt him down.
Hunt him down. Amazing. Which is just incredible. God. But yeah, and then they just screwed him over. This could have been a real good victory story for Bottas, but instead Mercedes said, nah, fuck you again.
Not today.
Not today.
Not today. since we're on Mercedes, I was gonna say Lewis really did well on those like old tires at the end, because I was really expecting it to be easy for Max to catch him in those last 5 laps. But like Lewis really held his ground. It was amazing. That was just so hyped to see like competition for Lewis. It was amazing. I know I would have loved to see Max podium, but like it just great to be on the edge of my seat for the entire race.
Same, honestly, especially for the last laps when there's genuine competition happening, like crazy. Also, Lewis got another random world record. I feel like he gets a world record every single race now, but like most laps led. So congrats to Sir Lewis Hamilton on that one.
McLaren.
Yes, McLaren looked great. Definitely, fighting for the front. Lando outpaced Ricciardo now.
Yeah, Lando came in 4th, Ricciardo in 6th?
Ricciardo in 7th, Leclerc in 6th.
7th, okay.
Yeah, impressive though. Impressive for Lando, I think, because Ricciardo usually does well at Bahrain, no?
Yeah, I mean, I think what we've seen also this race too is that the people that are new to the car, I feel like the first few races is always like this. The people that are new to the car do well, but like not as well as their teammate, and like same as Leclerc beating Sainz, and like I think that's normal, except for Yuki.
Well, to be fair, Yuki, I think Gasly kind of got a DNF, actually.
Yeah, so. Gasly would have... I was expecting Gasly to podium, honestly, until that thing happened. He was looking strong and sad,
God.
But yeah, McLaren looked strong. I think it's just wild to see that how the field has changed, kind of, that like now upper midfield is definitely McLaren, and I mean, obviously Red Bull and Mercedes are still top of the field, but like
Ferrari being there at all,
Aston Martin, and Ferrari, Ferrari there, and then like Aston Martin and Alpine have really just come down to the same level as Alfa Romeo.
They're true midfield now. It's crazy. And then the fact that AlphaTauri is so high up is so funny, that they're like they're kind of in level with Ferrari at this point. They really are. I think so. It's crazy. Such a good race. Also, I think it's really refreshing to see Alfa Romeo perform. Like, I'm so happy to see Kimi doing well out here.
I think it was so funny. I don't know if you heard the commentary, but like when Yuki was passing like Kimi, they were like, the youngest and oldest drivers of the field battling it out. And then like when Alonso and Kimi were together, they were like, there's 6 world champions right there. Or like, no, it was Vettel and
Alonso.
Because Vettel's 4. There
were a few really good battles happening in the midfield the entire time too, that were keeping like, I don't know why the midfield was so packed this whole race, but it was like there was a lot of battles happening.
Well, it's because all the midfield cars are now just like what used to be like I guess Alfa Romeo. They've really caught up with everyone, so there's just more competition, which is great.
I know. There was a really good battle for what was it? It was like halfway through the race, and it was Alonso, Vettel, and Sainz all at once, and they were just playing like musical chairs for a bit around those corners. It was so funny, like just like constantly hopping back and forth over each other. It was great. Also, just I liked seeing Sainz and Alonso battle, just because like knowing that Alonso is Sainz's hero and seeing them like in genuine competition this year.
Yeah, I was gonna say, who was your driver of the day? Because for me, it was very obvious that it was Perez, but who was yours?
Oh, you know what? I voted Vettel just because I felt so bad for him. I knew he wasn't gonna win, obviously, but I just felt so bad. I was like, this has been a rough race weekend for Vettel. Let me throw in
our boy.
Did he earn it? Yeah, not really, but...
In our hearts, he earned it.
Yeah.
Also, wait, I forgot to say this, but did you see yesterday at Quali, when Lewis came in second and he drove up to the stands, you know, where they drive? He drove right into his number 2 and dragged it so that it was in front of everyone.
I know, I was laughing so hard. I was like, he definitely is just not used to going over that far, close to the wall. He didn't angle it right.
He didn't know where to stop.
And because Max was right behind him, he was like, well, I just gotta keep pushing forward so I can let Max into the pole position. So he was just dragging his
funny
thing along. It was so good. Oh, man. I'm so excited for that battle this year. I think everyone is rightly excited about that. I don't know if we're going to see a Verstappen championship this year, but I can hope.
I think, there's going to be a lot of competition this year. I think this year it'll be, down to the last race that we'll know who is going to come, who the world champion will be. I don't think it's going to be like last season where, you know, we already knew, like 4 races before the final one that it was gonna be Lewis. That's not gonna happen this year, I don't think, because there's just too much competition.
Oh my god. Also, just seeing Toto at the end of the race, so happy. He was genuinely smiling. The first time I've ever seen a genuine smile on Toto, I think. Just because I think it's been so long since they've been actually challenged for a position and still won, you know?
Yeah. I think this also just proves their point that, for them, this is really we have a fast car. That's true. But also we have great drivers. And I think that kind of...
Yeah, they want to prove it.
This battle really reflected that.
Yeah. They want to prove that not only do they have the best car, they have the best drivers, and they want to flex it.
Yeah,
they want to flex
and
it.
And it's true. Yeah, it's fair enough. You know, I think they're allowed to do that.
God, I also saw. I don't know what graphic it was today, but it just reminded me that Lewis is older than Vettel, and that always trips me up every single time I think about it.
Oh, yeah.
It's so weird.
Yeah. Vettel just looks so aged.
Vettel,
I think
he's exhausted.
Vettel's really skewed. Yeah. He's really skewed my perception of age. I'm scared to hit 30 now. I'm 23. That's 7 years away. That's too close. It's he's really skewed my perception of what it means to be 30, because I don't know, 30 doesn't sound that old, but then you look at Vettel, who's 33, and he just seems like he's life is over for him.
Look, I'll just say, you know, I feel like Lewis ages like fine wine, and Vettel has kind of aged like milk. It's not good. It's
just sours over time.
Yeah. He's still a cutie. He's a great athlete, but
poor boy.
He's definitely showing his years a bit more than Lewis at this point. And I think Lewis also, it benefits him that he has a little bit of a fuckboy persona. He's always
True.
Posting fake deep stuff on Insta. I'm not talking about his actual good posts about social justice. Those are good. Those are fine. I'm talking about the fake deep ones where it's him staring at the ocean and being sometimes I wonder what my life would be like if I was born in a... It's shut the fuck up, dude. Or him posing for pictures where he's rubbing his hands together and doing a little fuckboy face.
Yeah.
It's a lot. And it makes him seem like a mid-20s guy, not a mid-30s guy who's almost 40 at this point. It's crazy to think about. Anyway, sorry.
Same as Alonso, though. Alonso is also 39.
Yeah. I think Alonso...
he also looks quite old.
Disagree, but that's all right. I think he looks like
I'm just scared to... I'm scared to pass 25 now.
Yeah, truly.
I mean, I might not be a top sports person, so I don't have that stress. So hopefully, the stress of being a top athlete, maybe that's what's making them look so old. this is just so fun to have, like, a normal race weekend and be excited by something whilst in quarantine and, like, you know.
Yeah.
It was so nice.
Same. They also have fans back in the stands now. Oh, you know what I didn't like? At the post-race, they didn't spray the champagne. And I don't know why they didn't do that.
I know. Oh, yeah, I saw that. It was very sad.
Yeah, why did... It's the first race of the season, and we're not going to spray it? Like, I know, I think it's not... It's, like, not the real champagne or whatever. It's just, like, it's fizzy, bubbly drink. But, like, you know...
Yeah.
Spray it. It's carbonated.
Yeah, I just looked at my phone because I was like, I think I wrote something about this, but the only thing I wrote was, what a sad podium, LMAO.
Yeah. Why were they so somber? Like, why wasn't anyone celebrating?
Everyone was sad except for Lewis. I mean, Lewis was gonna. He poured it over like the
but
team
they didn't
representative.
Spray it. Why not spray it?
No.
What the fuck? It was so rude. Okay. I
Everyone
feel like just, you know,
sad.
give us the spectacle for the first race. Like, I know, Max.
Do it for the fans.
Yeah, I know you're upset that you're in second, Max. And Bottas, I know you're upset you're in third. But this is not new. We've seen a Hamver bot before, okay? We're used to it. Just spray the champagne and give the fans what they want. It's race number 1. Come on. God.
Yeah.
Yeah. We should also talk about... Lando and Charles had a good battle for 4th for a lot of the race too. Sorry, I just wanted to note that. That was also pretty exciting to watch. I think watching the like top midfield, those battles for like 4th through 6th it's really impressive this season. There's a lot going on. The cars are very equal.
It reminded me a little bit of like F2, like all the mid cars. Oh, fuck the mid.
You got this. You got it.
Midfield.
Yes.
The midfield cars. They all reminded me of like F2 because in F2, you know, all the cars are competing for P1.
Yeah.
And like that was kind of what was happening in midfield is like everyone was competing for those, you know, the like P5 to P10. There was competition all around for that. Yeah. So, or like even P4, yeah, because Lando.
Yeah.
So that was just really good to see more competition.
Truly. It's going to be a good season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This was a great opener. I think this is one of the best openers we've had.
Yeah. Really was. I
or
really
at least
like
that
the
I've
Bahrain
seen,
circuit. So. I think Bahrain is a great place to start because I haven't been in F1 very long, but all of the races I've seen at Bahrain have been eventful to say the least.
Amazing.
Any changes in your predictions for the 2021 season after seeing this race?
I'm still gonna say I'm keeping Verstappen P1. I think he's gonna earn his first world championship this year, but I might put Yuki P, or maybe not Yuki, Gasly. Oh, I don't know though. Oh, I just feel like Yuki and Gasly are gonna do really well this season, and they might be like maybe P6, maybe P5. One of them. Yuki just looked so strong out there. I really think like he was still getting used to the car and like everything, but once he gets used to it, I think he could be scoring like big points.
Yeah. The fact that he got points in his F1 debut already is wild. Like,
already is a big thing.
Yeah. He's crazy good. I'm hoping...
Other than that, though, I think...
I'm predicting DNFs for the rest of the season for Mazepin.
Yeah. Honestly, the amount he's been spinning... He just also drives too aggressively. Like, it, like...
Yeah, for a car that's slow.
He has been hitting people. He's been... Yeah, it's just annoying. Like, he's been in the way of everyone. Just like, fucking get out of there. We don't need you. If you're not finishing, you don't need to be there.
I want to see a Sebastian Mazepin cage match. I want to see Sebastian take this kid out.
Fighting it out. Yeah.
I could watch him deck him any day. That would be amazing for me. I think you know what? I think that I forget what exactly my predictions were in the predictions episode because they were so crackheady and on the spot. But I think I put the Ferrari drivers up pretty high, and I'm going to stand by that because they actually look really good.
Yeah.
Even though I put Ferrari in 7th.
Think you did. Oh yeah, the constructors.
Yeah. You know what? I'll stand by that actually. That's fine.
No, you're right though. You're right. I think Ferrari has a good shot this season. Also, especially just because their cars like does look a lot better, and their driver lineup together, they just work really well.
Yeah.
And I mean, we've kind of started seeing that on the Instagram too, and like their stories is that they're pals, and like Carlos and Charles are really like broing it out.
It's
and
because
stuff,
Carlos is just,
I don't know.
He has to be a big brother to his teammate. He has to. He cannot help but be a big brother. It's so funny. I loved watching the video they put out, the 2 Truths and a Lie, because even though it's still like kind of, it's not as fun as the McLaren content because Ferrari just doesn't have that youth to them.
Yeah,
it's
true.
It was just so good still to see all the comments that are just like, oh, look at Carlos bringing out Charles's personality immediately. Like, it's so funny. Also, I just want to talk about that video because there was some really great pronunciations from Charles throughout it. I remember he opened the video like, hello guys, and then Carlos was like, no, you say ladies and gentlemen, you have to greet the fans, and he was like, I'm sorry, hello ladies and gentlemen.
Gentleman. The way he says, okay, it's the same as in Dutch. My parents do that too, is that the LE isn't a thing, so you say gentle, like you say the LE.
It's so good.
Gentleman. And
then he struggled with the word choir, which I understand. That's a hard word to look at. But like Carlos corrected him, and then he still wasn't getting it, and he was like, koya, qua. And then I think he settled on core, and he was like, I was in a children's core.
I mean, yeah.
It's so good.
Wait, what was that other thing? There was one more thing that he kept saying, and it made me laugh so much. Wait, answer.
Answer.
When he kept saying answer, that was so funny. Because also, he talks, when in that video, I really just saw that he talks like my mom. He has like, my mom has a really like strong, I mean, it's Dutch English accent, but like the pronunciation where you have, in Dutch too, you just have to say every letter in a word. So like Charles does that too. If there's like a W, he doesn't skim over that W. Yeah. He has to say answer.
He will say answer the whole time. Oh, what is the answer? Literally fucking... He makes Carlos sound like a native English speaker. It's so funny to me.
He really
Carlos correcting his line. It's so funny. It's so good.
I mean, because like in the McLaren videos, it was always Lando correcting Carlos, and now Carlos is bringing that to Charles. Well, everything he's learned, he's helping try.
Yeah. Oh my god, it's so good. I'm really looking forward to McLaren content. I know we haven't gotten any yet, but hopefully soon.
Yeah.
Because that pairing is going to be funny. But good. It's a good week for the Tifosi. For the Scuderia.
Binotto's probably at home, like, sipping his espresso, being like, yeah, this is what you were saying we were clowning around? Nah, we've been working towards this, like, the whole last year.
Binotto's eating a whole lasagna right now in celebration. He's saying, grazie, Carlos.
Grazie.
Good week for the Tifosi. Congrats, Ferrari stands, because you had a much better week than you thought you were gonna have, myself included.
Yeah,
I'll put myself down as full trash Ferrari stan these days.
See, my problem is every time, because I don't know where I stand, because I obviously have to back my boy Max. Like I think Dutch is just like we're patriotic in that way, that we have to stand Max. Like, the only thing patriotic about the Netherlands is F1 and Max.
Yeah.
And
and your airlines. Your airlines are good.
No, that's true. That's true. No Dutch person, like, I don't think, especially since I live here now, I'll have no respect. No one will have respect for me if I say Max isn't my favorite driver. So on that point,
the Flying
I
Dutchman.
have to say Max is he's my favorite driver. But in terms of constructors, like, I don't know who my favorite constructor is. Because before the season started, I might have said Aston Martin, but now I'm not going to say Aston Martin.
Oh my god, they did an interview with Otmar or whatever, and he was talking. He was
really?
so salty about the new regulation about that one floor piece that we mentioned earlier.
Oh yeah.
The triangle at the back that was supposed to, increase downforce or whatever, but now it's gone. So all the cars are
make
a
the
little
car
less
slower.
And he was like, yeah, this only it only increases the gap from the big teams. Like, us independent teams are having a harder time with this regulation. Clearly not. Look at Alfa Romeo. Like, look at all the midfield. They're so much closer, dog. Like, just because you no longer have your pink Mercedes, chill out.
Yeah.
Color it pink, then it'll go faster. That's free speed. Just saying.
To be honest, though, every time the Aston Martin was on screen, the colors look so good. I love that car.
There was a fact that I heard on QI one time, just watching that panel show where they were talking about how planes are not painted black because black pigment weighs more than white pigment. So when they paint planes, they paint them white. And I'm just thinking about how interesting that is, and like if that carries over to F1 cars, and if we should be painting all of them white.
Yeah.
But anyway, just thoughts.
Don't they use a special type of paint? I'm pretty sure they use a special type of, like, I'm sure that all their stuff is specialized, and they probably have worked around that. But like, that's very interesting.
Yeah, I'm sure they've thought it out. But I'm just thinking about that. Yeah. This was also like years ago on an episode of QI with Stephen Fry, just saying that. Oh no, it was the new host, so it was a newer season. Anyways, sorry, not to just go off about QI. Anyway, yeah, but very exciting first race. Any final thoughts?
No, I mean, I'm excited for this season. I think there's going to be real competition. I think we're going to see, like, real battles for, like, P1, P2, P3 this season. Also, I think it's not going to be only Mercedes up there and Red Bull. I think it's going to be, like, other teams up there, like, fighting for that podium. And I think Ferrari's going to make a comeback. They look strong, so...
Their clownery has paid off.
Also, one more thing that I've seen memes about is Perez. Like, right at the beginning when Perez was having problems, I was scrolling through Instagram, and there was just a bunch of memes of Albon just being like, yep, this is what you get for, like, joining Red Bull, and, like, Albon just, like, standing next to, fire and flames.
Wait, I wanted to talk about it because Albon's been posting so much in support of Red Bull this weekend. It's very sweet. But also, homeboy just wants his job back. It feels like someone desperately posting on LinkedIn or something, trying to get that job. Like... Please help, I'm a grad student. I have this many, like, these are my skills. Please help me get a job. That's what it feels like. Yeah, poor Albon. I hope we see him again. I hope he's not, gone forever.
Yeah. Also, a little bit of news. Officially, Hülkenberg has signed on for, I can't remember. He signed on for 2 teams as reserve driver, and I think it was Aston Martin and Alpine. I think that he signed on for two though. And on his story today, he posted like pre-race meal, and it was like a bulky meal, and I was like, he's really expecting to just step in right now. Oh, Mercedes and Aston Martin, sorry. He's reserved for Mercedes and Aston Martin.
God, I hope we see him. I hope it comes true that he gets points this season.
Wait, wouldn't it be sick to see him race the Mercedes and, like, his debut in the Mercedes, he's, like, P1 and he wins the race?
He deserves it. He has had such shit luck his whole F1 career. If he could just get in that Merc and, like, P1 it one time. I'd feel a little bad for Bottas, but, you know.
No, that'd be funny. I would want to see that. I think the crowd would go wild.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Well, on that note, looking forward to the rest of the season. Hopefully it's as exciting as this race was.
Yeah.
Very excited to see more. So if you want to keep up with us for the rest of the season, we are at Box Podcast on TikTok and Instagram, and at BoxPod on Twitter. So go give us a follow. We will be dropping new content and memes and whatnot throughout the season. Feel free to give us a follow. And you know what? Like, tell us what your race predictions are for the rest of the season now that we've seen a little taste, a little je ne sais quoi.
Hit us up and also hit us up and ask us questions that you want like covered on the podcast.
Yeah, for sure. Any specific topics.
Yeah.
I think that's it for this episode. Thank you so much for listening. Arrivederci.
Ciao, ciao.
So if you want to keep up with us for the rest of the season, you can give us a follow on our socials. We are at Box Podcast. I haven't done this in a while. Sorry. If you want to keep it's been 1 week and my brain's turned to mush.
Yeah.
If you want to keep up with us